All right, we're excited to get back on this truck. We got a bunch of stuff to do up in here with our power steering. What else we got? We got some pieces up here we got to remove and delete and change out. A little pressure thing that's going there.
We're gonna remove that right there and get rid of it. Delete the oil cooler. And then this is gonna be the how not to do your power steering. Stay tuned, people! It's gonna be exciting!
Don't mind the crazy guy underneath the truck making all the noise and welding. We were not going to talk about that at all, right? Right, Ryan?
Nothing.
We're not going to say anything about what's underneath.
Nothing.
But what we are going to talk about is right here. We're getting ready to, and when I say we, I mean me.
Amen.
I'm going to pull off these little hoses right here, or these lines for the power steering. We're going to make new AN lines that are going to come off there. We have some adapters. I'll show you those in a second. We're going to make 2 lines, and then on to the next thing. As you saw just a second ago, I had pulled the alternator off, and then the other thing that's going to happen is right down here you can see the oil filter. And it's funny, these Coyotes have an oil cooler, and it basically cycles water through this little, essentially it's like a radiator. So we're going to delete that. We don't want no stinking cooling, and put a little stud in there and replace that, and that's going to happen here in a minute. All right, so here's our pieces. We have 2 of these little purple adapters. These go down in our rack and pinion, and that adapts it to an AN fitting. We have this 90-degree AN fitting. The most important thing about this is you have to use this line. This is high pressure line, and I think it's rated at least over 1200 psi, and fuel line is not rated that high. So we're going to use that line probably on our pressure side and maybe on our low pressure side, because we just have extra and we don't have to open up another bag. So time to make some AN lines, put this all back together. We're gonna go and tackle this oil filter right here. It's really simple. We just pull the filter off. There's an Allen head inside here. We're gonna pull that. Then the cooler, whole thing will come off. We'll clean that up. We have a new stud that goes in with an Allen head, and then the filter goes back on. We're gonna change the oil later. So that's the plan.
I feel like this has got to be what hell's going to be like.
Oh, really?
Just laying up underneath here, covered in tar, smelling just amazing greatness with your nasal passages, sticking your head to the floor with the crap that you're painting, dripping it onto your forehead, down your ear hole as it hardens. Just sheer freaking happiness. The brush basically becomes one with the hand.
That stuff's never coming off your skin.
Yo, wait until you see my face.
Now we're gonna move up here and we're gonna remove this. If you remember at the beginning of the video, we talked about this piece right here. It splits off. One set of tubes goes to the heater core, so it gives you heat inside the truck. And the other one goes to, what's it called, Ryan? The
Degas.
The Degas. This thing's coming out, and a new one with just one output is going back in, so we still have heat. And then we have this piece out. We're gonna remove this, and we're gonna tap it, and we're gonna put an air bleed. We'll be able to bleed all the air out of the system, which will be really nice. And this is also for the Degas. Off we go.
So the hope is to remove this little stud right here.
Yep.
And then you tap that, and then you put this in there, and that becomes your bleeder valve.
I would imagine there's probably quite a bit of air that sits right here in the top, so having a bleeder will be really helpful to bleed here and then through the top of the hose.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's do that.
I like bleeding.
You do. You bled all over the truck last week.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Let's do it.
So clearance is definitely an issue. So Ryan and I were talking about this, and actually Ryan was informing me, and we are gonna trim all this plastic around the edge off and basically make these fans as low profile as we can possibly get them. So that's gonna be the next thing I'll work on.
All right, guys, we really appreciate all of you that have stayed with us through this point. As you can see, it's getting a lot closer this time around to getting this front actually done. The first time we did it was just for us to hear it run.
Yeah.
This time it's going to be official.
We're getting there.
Yep, and let us know what you guys think on the way we went about all this. But on that note, we'll see you next time.